Hi there. Today we are also going to do IELTS Cambridge A Test 3 Reading Passage 1. The topic is about striking back at lightning with lasers. And let's just take a look at what kind of questions do we have. The first one is about MCQ, and the next one is sentence completion with alongside summary completion, and the last one is about yes, no, not given, right? All right, let's begin with the first one. What is the main topic discussed in the test? The damage caused to US golf course and golf players by lightning strikes, damage, and lightning powers on power supplies in US and Japan. Variety of methods used in trying to control lightning strikes. A laser technique used in trying to control lightning strikes. The next one is, according to the text, every year lightning does considerable damage to buildings during thunderstorms. Kills or injures mainly golfers in the United States, or kills injures around 500 people throughout the world. Damage more than 100 American power company. And researchers at the University of Florida and the University of Mexico. So we have got two kinds of university which receive funds from the same source, which are using the same technique, which are employed by commercial company, and they are in opposition to each other, right? Let's just try to figure out the right answer here. Seldom is the weather more dramatic than when thunderstorms strike. Their electrical fury inflicts death or serious injury on around 500 people each year in the United States alone. And if you just pay attention here, we've got 500 people throughout the world, and it says here in the United States alone, and that's why this is going to be crossed out, right? And as the clouds roll on, a leisurely run of golf can become a terrifying dice with death. Out in the open, a lone golfer may be a lightning bolt's most inviting target. So it says a lone golfer, one golfer, right? And here, mainly golfers. Maybe this is the reason why it's not going to be B, right? There is a damaged property too. Damaged property too. There is a damaged property building, right? Lightning damage costs American Power Company more than 100 million a year. A year. This is a final point that is going to be letter A. It's not about letter D because it says damage to 100 American Power Company, but here it says power company, they need to be in charge of cost, but it's not damage to them, but they are in charge of responsibility. I mean the cost, right? And that's why this one is going to be the wrong answer, and the true one is going to be A. But researchers in the United States and Japan are planning to hit back. So they are going to hit back. Already in laboratory trials, they've tested strategies for neutralizing the power of thunderstorms. So they are going to neutralize the power of thunderstorm. And this winter, they will brave real storms this year, equipped with an armory of lasers that they will be pointing towards the heavens to discharge thunderclouds before lightning can strike. Before. Okay, so is it about golf course, golf players by lightning strike? No, this is the wrong one. Is it about power supply? No, I think they are going to plan something in laboratory in order to neutralize the power of thunderstorms. Variety of methods. I think they are using, it's not about variety and laser technique. Do we have laser technique? Armory laser. We have the keyword armory laser. Trying to control. Yes, they are going to control because they will be pointing towards, and before lightning can strike, they are going to do something, which means here controlling, right? And just let's write down number 2 here and number 1 here as well. So this one is going to be the right answer. So researchers at Florida and Mexico. So this is Florida. So the technique survives to this day at a test site in Florida run by University of Florida with support from the Electrical Power Research Institute. So they are supporting based in California. And do we have Mexico? Yes, we have Mexico here. So what goes up must come down, points out Jean-Claude Diels of the University of New Mexico. Diels is leading a project which is backed by EPRI. So backed by, which means supported by, right? Supported. And this is kind of organization that has been mentioned here, and University of Florida, they have a support from this institute, and University of Mexico has been supported by EPRI as well here, and receive funds from the same source. Of course, they've got the same resource here. So let's try to cross out the wrong answers. So the same technique. All right. So, which is funded by a power company looking at ways to protect United States power grid from lightning strikes. We can cause lightning to strike where we want it using rockets. So they use rockets. And the rocket side is providing precise measurements of lightning voltage and allowing engineers check how electrical equipment bears up. And who would want to fire streams of rockets in a populated area? What goes up must down. And that's why it's not same technique, because they are doing totally different techniques. So commercial company, according to this, which is funded by a commercial company, right? And it says it's not commercial company but power company, and that's why it's not going to be commercial one. And opposition, I think there is no such information here, then there is no any opposition here, and that's why this one is also going to be crossed out. And just it's my advice for you guys, if you, as long as you are doing multiple choice questions, try to cross the wrong ones out always. Why? In order to be sure, to make sure that we have selected the right answer, right? And let's just move on to the next one. EPRI receives financial support from financial support. So I think I have seen. So based in California, EPRI, which is funded by a power company. So power company is going to be the right answer here. And let's just write it down, number 4 here. And advantage of technique being developed by Diels. Advantage is that it can be used what? It can be used what? Diels, this. So All right. Deals is leading a project which is supported by EPRI to try to use lasers to discharge lightning safely. This is the keyword, safely. I mean the right answer, it is. And let's just write it down here as well. The main difficulty associated with using the laser equipment is related to its something. Okay. And the idea began some 20 years ago when high-powered lasers were revealing their ability to extract electrons out of atoms and create ions. If a laser could generate a line of ionization in the air all the way up to a storm cloud, this connecting path could be used to guide lightning to Earth before the electric field becomes strong enough to break down in the air in an uncontrollable surge. To stop the laser itself being stuck, it would not be pointed straight at the clouds. Instead, it would be directed at a miner, and from there into the sky. The mirror would be protected by placing lightning conductors close by. Ideally, the cloud zappers, which is called gun, would be cheap enough to be installed around all key power installations and portable enough to be taken to international sporting event to beam up a brewing storm clouds, a stumbling block. So, however, there is still a stumbling block. It looks like difficulty, right? The laser is no nifty portable. It's a monster that takes up a whole room. So it takes up a whole room. It's a monster. And Dills is trying to cut down the size. A laser around the size of small tables is in the offing. It plans small manual system on this. So I think the main problem is about its size, because just if you put the word size here, the right answer makes sense in terms of its translation, because the main difficulty associated with using the laser equipment is it's about its size, as it takes up a whole room. Yes, this is the reason why. This is the reason why, because it's a monster, that's why. So this one is about summary completion, and let's try to read it. Okay, in this method, a laser is used to create a line of ionization by removing electrons from something. This laser is then directed at something in order to control electrical charge. It's a method which is less dangerous than using something. As a protection for lasers, the beams are aimed firstly at something. So let's try to find here. We have the word ionization here. That's why I'm going to locate the text here. Okay. The idea began 20 years ago when high-powered lasers were revealing their ability to extract electrons out of atoms. So, to extract electrons, here we have removing electrons. Yes, this is removing electrons. And from can be a synonym to the word out of, right? From and out of, and that's why the right answer is going to be atom here, right? Atom. And do we have this word atom here? Yes, of course. So it's going to be. So I'm going to put the letter B here, and this laser is then directed at something in order to control electrical charge. And it's a method which is less dangerous than using something. If a laser could create a line of ionization in the air all the way up to a storm cloud, this connecting path could be used to guide lightning to Earth before the electric field becomes strong enough to break down the air in an uncontrollable surge. To stop the laser itself being stuck, it would not be pointed straight at the clouds, it would not be pointed straight at the clouds. Instead, it would be directed at a mirror from there in the sky. The mirror would be protected by placing lightning conductors close by. So somehow the right answer seems to be letter D, but I don't think so because I need this information directed at something in order to control electrical charge. So it's going to be directed at a mirror, but it's not controlling anything, right? The mirror would be protected by placing lightning conductors close by. Instead, the cloud zapper would be cheap enough to be installed around all key power installations and portable enough to be taken to international sporting events to beam up at brewing storm clouds. To beam up at brewing storm clouds. If a laser could generate a line of ionization, so to control electrical charge, so this is a synonym to the word to control electrical charge, could be a synonym to the word generate a line of ionization, controlling, right? In the air all the way up to a storm cloud. This is the right answer, and that's why it's going to be letter C here. And less dangerous. And this method is less dangerous because there used to be maybe much more dangerous method. So I think I have seen a dangerous method here. Where is it? It's talking about this one because somehow there is a comparison between University of Florida method and University of New Mexico method, right? And here it says we can cause the lightning to strike where we want to using rockets, says the Bernstein, manager of lightning project. Okay, so it's rocket, and the rocket site is providing precise measurement of lightning voltage and allowing engineers to check how electrical bears up. But while rockets are fine for research, they cannot provide the protection. So they cannot provide the protection. This is the synonym to the word less dangerous. Dangerous. Of course, this is very dangerous. And because there is no protection for it, and it's about rockets. And that's why the right answer is going to be rocket for 9. So let's just put rocket G, letter G here, and atom, from atom it's 7, storm cloud it's 8, and the last one. As a protection for lasers, the beams are aimed firstly at something. So firstly, this is the first kind of first step, right? Okay. This conducting path could be used before the field becomes strong enough to break down the air in the controllable surge to stop the laser itself being struck. It would not be pointed straight at the clouds. Instead, it would be directed at the mirror. Yes, the right answer is going to be mirror for question 10. And do we have mirror? Of course, we have mirror here. It's letter D, right? Okay, let's just try to do our best in terms of yes, no, not given here. Power company have given Dills enough money to develop his laser. So, but they have not yet come up with 5 million that. So, not yet come up with 5 million that EPRI says will be needed to develop a commercial system by making the lasers yet smaller and cheaper. So enough money, is it saying enough money? So I cannot say I have money yet, which means he doesn't have enough money, right? But I'm working on it. So says Bernstein. So if we pay attention here, Bernstein says Dell system is attracting lots of interest from the power company. So a lot of interest. But they have not yet come up with the 5 million that EPRI says will be needed to develop a commercial system, which means Deals is not yet provided with enough money, right? And that's why it's going to be no. Obtaining money to improve the laser will depend on tests in real storm. So I cannot say I have money yet, but I'm working on it. He reckons that forthcoming field tests will be the turning point. So turning point, which means the most significant point, which means depends on real storm. Of course, field storm can be a synonym to the word real storm, right? Field storm, real storm, turning point, depend on. Turning point, the turning point is going to be a synonym to the word depending on it, right? And of course, it's going to be yes, weather forecasters are intensively interested in this system. So, Bernstein predicts an avalanche of interest and support if all goes well. He expects to see cloud zappers eventually costing 50,000 and 100,000 each. Other scientists also could benefit with a lightning switch at their fingertips. Material scientists could find out what happens when mighty current meet matter. Dales also hopes to see birth of interactive meteorology, not just forecasting the weather but controlling it. So, Dales hopes if we could discharge clouds, we might affect the weather, he says. And perhaps Dale says we'll be able to confront some other meteorological menaces. We think we could prevent hail by including lightning, thunders, the shock wave that comes from a lightning flash. So it's also the points that's been spoken by Dales. And weather forecast. We have information about weather forecasts, but not weather forecasters. Weather forecaster or weather forecasters are about people, and there is no information about people here. And intensely interested, no such information, unfortunately, and that's why it's going to be not given. And it's all for today. Thank you for your attention. Bye.